First, I want to get to this one. Of course, a big national story. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is preparing the National Guard for deployment. That's after an ICE officer shot and killed a woman in South Minneapolis yesterday. So we have identified that woman. City officials have said that is 37-year-old Renee Good. The governor there has not deployed the Guard just yet. He says this is just a precaution in case those anti-ICE protests turn violent. So Fox's Asher Red is live for us in Minneapolis right now. So Asher, good morning to you. I know there's a lot of debate over whether or not the shooting was justified.
Well, at least just in the last few hours, we've seen some active protests pop up here in Minneapolis. One of them is going on at the federal building just a few blocks away from where I'm standing. It appears that federal agents have already had to use pepper balls, pepper spray on a few agitators and, of course, make a few arrests. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says the ICE agent in this case was right to shoot in this case. Now, the governor and the city's mayor aren't buying that. Immigration agents are conducting targeted operations in South Minneapolis yesterday afternoon. That's when 37-year-old Renee Good appeared to block agents in with her car. When agents told Good to get out of the car, that's when DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says she tried to run them over. And then an ICE agent shot and killed Good through the windshield. Secretary Noem is calling Good a domestic terrorist and accusing her of using a car as a weapon.
You know, people need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism.
But some city officials are calling this murder, saying the ICE agent should be arrested and charged. Within hours of the shooting, hundreds of anti-ICE protesters showed up at the scene, many of them throwing snow and chunks of ice at law enforcement. Mayor Jacob Frey is calling the Trump administration's narrative BS, and he didn't use the acronym.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull***. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
This is just devastating for the community. We can't have people getting murdered in our streets. It's just not right.
And this shooting happened just days after DHS deployed about 2,000 additional officers to the Minneapolis area. Both state and local officials are telling people who want to protest to do so peacefully. The National Guard is on standby as a precaution in case things turn violent. Elise?
It seems DHS is saying these vehicle ramming attacks on ICE agents are becoming more and more common.
Well, Secretary Noem says that just in recent weeks, there have been about 100 vehicle ramming attacks on ICE agents across the country. She also says that yesterday alone, the nation saw 4 vehicle ramming attacks on ICE agents, 3 of them happening right here in Minneapolis.
Fox's Asher Red joining us live in Minneapolis with the very latest on what's happening there. Looks like things are picking up there in the streets today. So, Asher, thank you so much for the very latest on that. So no big surprise here. We're hearing from Democrats in the nation's capital. Democratic lawmakers are responding to questions about the shooting death of the woman that we mentioned and just their take on the situation and what happened. So let's listen in together to some of what they're saying in the nation's capital.
To shut down the government right now. Some of your colleagues are threatening to shut down the government right now over the fatal shooting in Minneapolis. Given the fact that we saw the government shut down over these subsidies, I mean, is this a road that Democrats now want to walk down again?
The Appropriations Committee, and particularly the committees on Homeland Security, are taking up this issue, and they will have a very important and serious discussion about it. You're next. You're next.
So, given that you said that they're going to be taking up the appropriations process, if Democrats take back the House or Senate, will they do anything to slash funding for ICE or hold ICE accountable for these fatal shootings? There are multiple shootings, not just what happened to Renee Good.
Let me first say that the killing of Renee Good was an abomination, a disgrace. And blood is clearly on the hands of those individuals within the administration who've been pushing an extreme policy that has nothing to do with immigration enforcement connected to removing violent felons from this country. We support the removal of violent felons from this country who are here illegally. But that's not what this administration has been doing under the so-called leadership of Kristi Noem, who's a stone-cold liar. There's no evidence at all that this was a justified shooting. So let's deal with the tragedy right now. She hasn't even been buried. Her family is grieving. She was a single mom and an American citizen. And we all are outraged by what took place in Minneapolis, and we will respond decisively.
It is. Sorry.
Let me go back to healthcare for just a minute here.
Go ahead.
Let me go back to healthcare.
And I just want to, I watched the video. You felt like your stomach was being punched. Looking at the video, there seemed no justification for what these agents did. There needs to be a full investigation at the federal level, although I have little faith in the FBI at doing a fair investigation, or DHS, but at the local level as well.